Or or
Sorry.
maybe it's okay. Or maybe you've thought, wow, that's a really bad picture of her. Why isn't she smiling? She doesn't look very happy. Or maybe my slide doesn't look very professional. Or who the heck did the chamber get to tell us about me pages? I want you to be honest. If you had any funny little observations about this first slide or my introduction, pop them in the chat section. We're going to use the chat section a lot. So just be honest. I set up this first page to show you just how important first impressions are. And your About Me page, which we're talking about today, is one of your first impressions with your potential client. If you don't have one, you're missing out. If you have a bad one, you're making a bad first impression. If your About Me page has horrible quality or a selfie picture like mine right here, it might show that you don't care enough to invest in yourself to take a good picture. So let's kick off this lunch and learn a little bit better. Can we try it again, Sandra, if you don't mind? I think you're muted.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, let's start this from the top. Tracy Smith is the founder of Kitchen Table CEOs. She helps women entrepreneurs and small businesses just like you accelerate their business growth. Her business strategies focus on websites that drive sales, copywriting that persuades, and email marketing that nurtures and converts. Tracy is a longtime Aurora resident. We're talking since before Home Depot and Walmart arrived. And she is really looking forward to today's presentation where she can share her expertise and help all of you master your About Me page so that you can make an awesome first impression on your website. Go ahead, Tracy.
Awesome. How does that feel? It feels a lot more, it feels a lot better to me that maybe I'm not being judged as much by that previous picture. And I saw Eric had said there's typo galore, and Allison had said photos not overly professional. I totally agree. And thank you so much for your honesty. So, what if this was my first slide instead of the other one? That feels better. What is your first impression now? I mean, even if you're not a fan of the font color or the dress I'm wearing, do I look friendly? Is everything pretty professional so far? I don't think I've gotten too many X's from this first slide. So drop it in the chat section. Which page represented me better, one or two? Which one would you be more excited to watch the presentation and think, oh, so far so good? Drop a one or a two in the comments. Thank you, Samantha and Character Community. Two it is. Awesome. Divya says two as well. Okay, something fun I always like to do at the beginning of a presentation to get us kind of warmed up is for us to take a picture, if you're up for that, me of you and you of me, because you've shown me so much support today by coming and being with me that I would love for you, if you do social media, to take a picture of all of us and post it on social media, tagging at Kitchen Table CEOs. And then I can come by and say hi to you afterwards. So give a little smile or wave. I've got some of you up there. And awesome. And I'll do a little wave if you want to take one of me. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's always a fun way to say hello afterwards. And so I can connect some of your names to your profiles if you do social media. And if you don't, no big deal. We will be on track here pretty soon. So it's at Kitchen Table CEOs is where to find me. And I just realized I didn't do a big intro slide all about me on this presentation. We're just going to jump right into it. So I don't need to bore you. I see a lot of familiar faces from last week. So you already know who I am, and Sandra did a great job at introducing me. So let's get started. Today I'm here to talk to you all about your About Me page. On a scale of 1 to 10 in the chat section, let me know, how are you currently feeling about your About Me page? I really, really want to know. So maybe you don't have one, you can put that down. Maybe it's a 10 out of 10 and it's awesome and you're just coming here to check off a few boxes. How are we feeling about our current About or About Me page on our website? If you don't have one, I think that qualifies as a 0. So drop some numbers. Lisa's an 8. I'm impressed. Awesome. It's a business page, not too personal. Okay, great. Christine's at a 6, needs to be updated. 7, lots of words. All right, so no 10s, so that's why we're all here today, right? Some might call your About page your bio or about statement. It might take the form of your LinkedIn profile or an introduction on social media. And today we're talking about it specifically as a really, really important page on your website. It's a must, okay? But like anything we write and spend lots of time on, we can reuse it in all the places. So if you take your time today, we're going to have your About Me page written at the end of this hour or pretty close. You can copy and paste that. Use that on your social media. Use it on your LinkedIn, right? We want to reuse as much as possible so our story out there is consistent and we can save some time. So your About Me page, it's all about how you introduce yourself to the world, but most importantly, your potential clients, the ones you want to pay you money for your products or services. So what my first intro and slide showed all of you, or what I tried to show you, is that first impressions really do matter. The visual content you put out there, the words, the formatting, how everything looks, it really, really matters. And we can relate to and attract our ideal clients in so many different ways, or perhaps repel and turn off. Now, let's be clear. I'm not talking about being insincere or putting something out into the world that doesn't feel like you. No, we're not talking about that. That's not cool. But I do hope that you take away that whatever you put out there representing your role in your business or as a business owner, I want it to be purposeful, and I want and know people are watching and observing what you are putting out there. Okay, we want you to share, to relate to the client somehow, and not just droning on and on. If you notice, my first introduction by Sandra was where I went to high school, and my certificate programs were droning on and on. I often see that in About Me pages. So. Today, we're going to cover off a super easy way to set up your About Me page, a template that I created. Do you have to follow this template exactly? Absolutely not. However, more times than not, we're busy, we're swamped with other stuff, and you're likely not a professional copywriter like myself, so that's where I come in. I want you to let me do the heavy lifting for you so that you can save time and stress and you can have your About Me page done today. Or for all of my 6s and 7s out there, tweaked and feeling better and more confident about it. I want you to be able to reach your readers, and most importantly, and our main goal for this session, to be able to talk about yourself in an authentic and easy way. If this sounds good to you, drop me a thumbs up so I know you're still with me in the chat section, and I super look forward to our time together. I've written a ton of About Me pages for my clients, so today I'm sharing with you the easy step-by-step template that I've created. It's also available on my website, kitchentableceos.com, in the template shop. So let's do this, okay? All right, so why is your About Me page so important, do you think? Pop that into the chat section for me. Why do you think it's so important? I've mentioned some of this already, so really, if you've been listening, you would know. All right, we don't have, okay, here we go. First page most people go to. Sandra, bonus points, amazing. It is the most visited interior page of your website. So if you don't have it, you are missing out. People go there. We're all creepers, you know that. We always kind of go and research things and we want to know about these people and these founders and these owners. So it builds trust, Christian, absolutely. or Linda. I think that's Linda on her son's iPad. But we want to build trust. We want the people that are about to buy from us to know, hey, you know what? I can picture being friends with that person, or I trust that person. So at this stage, I want you to grab a couple pieces of paper or a notebook, your day timer, anything that you have some space to write and scribble, and things that I tell you to do as we go through. Because I mean serious business today. We are going to get this About Me page done, and I'm actually going to be telling you what to write. Okay. Allison Johnson says it clarifies what you do and your services. Yep, it doesn't go too deep into your services, because that's what your services page would be. But yeah, you want to connect to your client and tell them, how you're going to make their life better. So great job. So, and this is my polite little announcement too. If you're double tasking, we're not going to be able to write an About Me page if we got our phone open, or we're trying to multitask. So put it into that drawer and let's get going on this About Me page. We got 1 hour, a lot to cover, and I definitely need your full attention to deliver on what I promised. Okay. So the template I'm going to share with you today is one that I created to share with my students of my course, and that I honestly use myself every time I have to write an About Me page for a client. It has 7 parts or paragraphs. That might seem like a lot, but it's not. I'm not talking paragraphs that are 5-6 sentences long. I'm talking paragraphs that are 1, 2, maybe one of them's 3 lines. Okay, so 7 small little sections to your About Me page. And we're going to walk through each one and what you're going to include. It's easy to follow, and you can have it done today if you stick with me and use that notebook that I told you to grab. The beauty of this template is that it mixes your experience and how it benefits your clients with a bit of personal stuff to make you a real, live, relatable human being. And we always close things off with a call to action. You always want to include a call to action, which so many people forget about on their About page, but we want that reader to do something next, right? And that's what the call to action is. It's telling them what we want them to do after they read their page. So easy peasy, let's do this. So just a quick overview of what this template includes, the 7 paragraphs or lines. And we're going into each one of these deeply, so you do not need to write this down. You're also, just so you know, as an FYI, going to get this presentation after the fact from Sandra and myself. So don't worry about having a copy down everything that I'm saying. So number 1 is your greeting. Number 2 is historical anecdote. 3 is what I call street cred. 4, what's in it for them. 5, on your days off. 6, your closing line and call to action. And 7, your sign off and picture. And don't worry, like I said, we're going to go through all of this. If you have any questions whatsoever, pop them into the chat. I'll either answer them live or we'll answer them at the end. Oops, I'm going to start my timer so I know if I'm way over or under. Okay, so remember that notebook I told you about? You can just jot 1 through 7 down if you're that kind of person, or add them as we go. I couldn't find matching numbers, so that's why they're green and black in my design template. So your first paragraph is your greeting. This is easy peasy, and you'll have it done in 90 seconds flat, okay? This is where we just say hello and we introduce ourselves. It could be your name and your title or your position at your business, where you work. Think about how you talk in real life. So one of the things I like to do, and why I think I am good at what I do, is I try to write like I talk. So many people that say, okay, as soon as they're about to write something, it's like, once upon a time, and therefore, and, using all these fancy words that, not that therefore is a fancy word, but you know what I'm saying. All of a sudden they feel like they have to use all of these words that they would never say if they were talking to somebody. So my challenge to you is, when you're writing this, don't overthink it. If you walk into the office every day and say howdy, maybe howdy should be yours. If you walk in and say bonjour, or hey, how's everybody doing? Or think about some of the terms or greetings that you use. This is just one little way You can add your personality to your about page or through your website. Use the things that you say on a regular basis. The other thing as you begin your about me page I want you to think about is what type of business do you have? If you are an accountant and you're wearing a suit every day and you never crack a smile at work, I'm totally stereotyping accountants. I'm sorry, I know a lot of fun accountants too. But you probably aren't saying howdy on your about page, right? But if you're the fun accountant who's wearing colorful ties and, always has chocolates on their desk and giving things out and put jokes, hey, maybe howdy could be in there. So I want you to think about what type of personality your business has or that you want it to have. And don't be afraid to show a little bit of that, because that's how you are going to stand out. If you just say, hi, my name's such and such, I'm the president of such and such, there's not any standing out happening there, right? So your first one, honestly, is, hey, I'm Tracy. I'm the founder of Kitchen Table CEOs, period. Okay, that's all we're writing right now. So here's a few examples. Hey, I'm Tracy. I'm a professional writer, brand strategist, and founder of Kitchen Table CEOs. Not even a paragraph, one line. Well, hello, I'm Zara, proud owner of Rainbow Threads, the happiest clothing boutique in LA. If you have a tagline that you use for your business, you might be able to put it in here somewhere. So just take a stab. I don't want you to overthink this. Okay, just think about how you talk in real life when you meet new people and clients, and pop that in, okay? And if by chance you have written it already, you pop a thumbs up in that chat section and let me know we have number one done. Don't overthink. It's your name, it's your title, and it's your business. That's probably all that's in there, okay? I want to see a thumbs up. Let's go. You've got to have that written. All right. The second one is the hysterical. Sorry, I'm talking too fast today. I'm going to take a sip of water while you guys write down number one. All right. Number two is your historical anecdote. Why do you do what you do? This is where most people go way overboard, like I did in my first slide. And they talk about all the schools they've attended or why they switched or, different positions they've held. Hold up. Why does that matter? Do your clients really care, or are they bored? Your historical anecdote is meant to provide a micro glimpse into why it is that you do what you do. We are not telling them 10 paragraphs long of what you did. It is one sentence, which I know that is the challenge. But why do you do what you do? What brought you to this moment in time? Have you always done what you do and you love it? Is it a family business? Is it, did something spark you to make a career change? What are you really, really good at? And don't worry, I'm going to show you some examples here. So I have loved writing in all forms ever since I was little. And whether I knew it or not back then, I've come to realize I'm really good at it. So I'm telling the person, hey, I have loved writing. I've been really good at it for a really long time. And so it's sort of giving them a little bit of a journey with me, right? All my life, and I've made up some of these, so let's just grain of salt here, okay? All my life, I've searched for clothes to fit my body with not much luck. Nothing to hug my butt, fit my waist, nothing that will button properly up top. I said no more, and I decided to design and launch my own clothing line. So this is clearly a woman probably who is just fed up. And again, you can hear them writing like they talk. So I challenge you at the end of this, read it out loud. Most of you are on mute, read it out loud. And if you're boring yourself or it's written in a way that is not how you would talk, try to put in some of the words or reword it in a way of how you would tell your best friend. And that will help you to make it a little bit more approachable and a little bit more relaxed in feel. So here's a couple more. Ever since I scored the top grade in my high school accounting class, I knew I was destined to work with numbers. A lot of degrees later, I'm your go-to accountant specializing in whatever you specialize in. So again, you can hear that this person's always loved numbers. Obviously, they're successful. They didn't tell us what school they went to. They didn't tell us what their grade was. Maybe they scored 65 because there was 2 people in their accounting class. I don't know. But you don't need to give all the details. You just need to be convincing. Here's another one. My son was diagnosed with nut allergies when he was 8 months old, and I couldn't find a cake for his first birthday that was safe and delicious for him to eat. That's when I decided to start baking. Sorry about this, the typos here. That's when I decided to start baking mouth-watering, nut-free baked goods so everyone, even those with allergies, could enjoy their goodness. Right? She didn't go in and tell us, oh, when he was 8, he was diagnosed with this, and after going to see 10 specialists, she just glazed over it, but you got the idea. So this is your historical anecdote. What brought you to where you are and what you're doing? All right. So far, does anybody have any questions about 1, your greeting, and 2, your historical anecdote? I'm just going to grab something from my printer. I printed off this list ahead of time, so I would have it with me. So in the chat section, any questions about your greeting or your historical anecdote, do not be shy. I am here for you. Okay, I'll keep an eye on the chat section, but I don't see anything. So we're on to section 3. I call this street cred. This is where we subtly tell the reader why we're awesome, why we're good at what we do. Notice that I said the word subtly, okay? The number one thing I hear about people on About Me pages is, and myself included, it's really hard to talk about ourselves. We're Canadians, right? We're not meant to be braggadocious. So, but this is your business. And if you're successful, it probably means you're good at what you're doing. And this is a moment not to be too shy. We don't need to be bragging, but this is a moment where you do want to say why you are good at what you do. What has made you successful? So let's put that aside and make sure that we're brave and we can toot our own horns here, okay? We want to talk about why you are qualified to be an expert. So in some fields, maybe it is a degree, but a degree is just a piece of paper, right? Why are you really good at what you do? Why should your potential clients or customers trust you or buy from you? You want to include a tiny bit of your technical experience and business success. So, and I will explain this further, so don't worry. So, 2 questions you can ask yourself. What are your biggest achievements on the business side of things? And we're not talking, we're writing down 10 pages, like just highlights. What are you really good at? Maybe people sometimes in the business world call it your superpower or your special talent. I want you to, with no judgment, I want you to jot the first few things down that come to mind. Another great exercise you can do afterwards is you can send an email to some of your best friends or your colleagues or your business partners and just say I know it's a weird question, but what would you say I'm really good at? Or what's my biggest strength? And not only does it feel good when you get that email back, but sometimes it's actually very enlightening because people see you different and you do sell yourself short. So, make sure you do that exercise. It's a great one. So I want you to type in the chat section. This is going to be challenging. The first thing that comes to mind. So if you know what you're good at, or if you want an award, or if you have a superpower, I want you to put it in the chat section. Come on. Pretty please. Mine would be one of them is writing. I didn't realize until later in my adulthood that so many people hate writing. So, and hearing from people, people don't like writing. And so I'm really good at taking complex things and putting them into simple things. Hence why I'm here today. Super approachable. Eric says, amazing. Good for you. Thank you for being brave and sharing with me. I think we've got about 15 other people that have special talents that I'd really like to see drop it in the chat section. Sandra, come on. So, maybe you want an award. Maybe you want a chamber award. Maybe people always tell you about a certain attribute you have. Communication, intuition, and writing for Allison. Amazing. Good for you. Thank you again for sharing. I know that's hard. I would say also I'm a really thoughtful friend. Like I always am the one who calls and gives little gifts and things like that. So that's another superpower of me. Okay, so if you can't talk about yourself while we write your about me page, then I'm not sure when else you can. So use the opportunity. It could be a business achievement, right? Maybe you're an awesome tap dancer. There is a part coming up in your About Me page that we can talk about that too. So in my template on my website, I'll tell you a bit about it at the end. There's an entire series of questions in the About Me page template that walk you through this in more detail. So if you want to get the juices flowing and you want a little bit more of a follow-up from today, by all means, on my website, the About Me page, template and tips, similar to this, but it goes a little bit more into detail. All right, next step. So examples of a superpower or something you're good at. I write magazine articles. I won an award for. I can sell anything. I'm a really good baker. I like numbers. Okay, so whatever you have, some of you shared, some of you didn't. Now I'm going to show you a little trick I use to supercharge these statements, okay, to make them look even better and super appealing. Because if somebody just said, I'm a good baker or I like numbers, I mean, that's nice. Now I know you like numbers, but you're really not selling me, right? So I'm going to show you a trick that will really help you if somebody's creeping you on your About Me page and deciding if they're going to hire you. So this is called quantifying your street cred. We're going to attach numbers to what your super talent is, okay? And I'm going to give you lots of examples to help you through this. Quantify, that's all you need to write down if you want. But again, you'll get this presentation. So I write magazine examples turns into, I've written more than 50 magazine articles published in newspapers and magazines across the country. So you can see how it turns into like, I kind of like writing magazine articles to like, wow, this person's written 50, they're published. It's not like in their, newspaper, handwritten, whatever, and across the country. So I basically just added the 50, the published, and the across the country. And all of a sudden that's become supercharged, right? I won an award. Okay, that's great, but how does that apply to what you do? This past year, I won an award for Best New Skincare Product from more than 500 applicants and as voted on by consumers. So all of a sudden, we know that they have an amazing product, that they were against 500 people, and that consumers, not moms, not their own mom, voted on this award. So here's something I will say. Sometimes we're amazing at what we do. And when we try to quantify it, the numbers that we have to use don't sound that powerful. And that's okay. We're just going to use another example, or we're going to beef it up in a different way. So if it says, you're brand new and you have 5 clients, I don't know whether I'd say, I have 5 clients. That's not an example of when quantifying would work, right? You might then, instead of saying how many clients you have, you might talk about the number of the success. So like, how much did you grow something for them? Or how, 99% of my clients rate my services 10 out of 10. They don't need to know how many clients you interviewed. So just the quantification has to be appropriate is what I'm saying. I've got a couple more examples. I like numbers. For more than a decade, I have provided accounting service to more than 700 clients across the country. So now the person that likes numbers, wow, they've been in business for 10 years. They're working with people across the country. It kind of gives the feel that you're working with a variety of different people, and 700 clients, holy cow. Again, I don't know how many clients accountants and things have, but I'm just making this up. I'm a good baker. You name it, I can bake it. At my shop, we offer more than X types of baked goods, 10 different types of icing, and bake more than 30 dozen scones in a week. People can't get enough, right? So there's a totally different example of, hey, if you do a lot of something, then show people like you are in it, right? You're doing a great job. All right. And then here's just a few more. I have helped more than 50 businesses input accounting practices that have saved them more than 25% in their operating costs. So if you are a B2B or something like that, you can talk about the results that you have provided your people with. I should have asked at the beginning what everybody does. I apologize. So I could have done some better examples. I manage more than 300 clients and a gross portfolio of $900 million. I don't know. I carry more than 40 different types of fair trade coffee and accessories that I've researched for more than 10 years, right? So what's your street cred? Anyone brave enough to put down a sentence for us to read? And again, I say paragraph, but it really is only one or two sentences, right? And I think where we get hung up is we feel like the About Me page should be an entire old school resume where at the end people know, like, I'm legit, I got a degree here and I took certificate programs here, and here's the 10 things I've done and why I've made choices. That's not an About Me page. They will be gone quicker than they can get through the 20th paragraph. So we want to just highlight, we want to take the best parts, right? We want to pique their interest so that they want to work with you. We don't want to give, like, if it's looking like an old school resume, we don't want that. Pre-pandemic, I organized 40 plus in-person events per year. Amazing. Okay. So we could even supercharge that more by saying, like, if you had a grand total of the amount of people that attended, or if, like, and again, you're with the chamber, so it's a bit different, it's nonprofit, but you could, if you were an event, because I know we have sometimes the armories on here, but if you were an event planning, you could say, what the budget was potentially of those. You could say, again, if you specialized in food or something, you could say, 20 different meal combinations or something like that. So think about what you're trying to exploit out. What are you trying to tell them? Like, if you're an accountant, you want them to know you're totally capable and you've got, a client roster. So think about what is it that is most appealing to your customer or client and try and sort of pull and quantify that out, okay? If anybody has any questions, pop them in. I know we're going over a lot, but I really hope the examples are helping. Thank you, Sandra, for sharing that. I appreciate that. Okay, so just to recap, because that was a biggie, we want to explain why you're qualified to be an expert. Why should they trust you, the person reading it, right? And it's going to be unique to everybody, depending on if you sell a product and they need to know that you know what you're talking about, if it's healthy. If you sell like really fashiony stuff, like, why should I trust that that polka dots are in this year? Or why are you the best to sell me promotional products? Do you get better rates or what, right? We want to exclude a little bit of your technical experience and business success. Okay, so that is street cred sort of wrapped up. So we're saying, hey, this is where we've come from, and this is why I'm good. So number 4, I like to call what's in it for them, and them being your website visitor or your person checking out your About Me page. I just wanted to share here. Eric says, our brokerage uses a proven formula and 100% of our listings have sold in under 6 days. Amazing. I love that. That's so great because that shows success. It shows that you're going to sell my house quickly and it shows you know what you're doing. So amazing. That's really, really great. The only thing I would say you could add, but again, maybe the numbers aren't appropriate in this one, but you could say how long that's been applicable for or how many listings were involved. But again, potentially for somebody, if they were starting out, they wouldn't want to include those numbers. So the way Eric, and I don't know your situation, Eric, but the way you have worded it is totally fine as well. So good job. Thank you so much for sharing. So what's in it for them? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was so excited about somebody sharing here. What's in it for them? Paragraph or section number 4. How do you help your client? So now we're a little bit less talking about you and your street cred and why they should trust you, and more about, well, what is it that you do that actually is helping your client or your purchaser? So what are your deliverables? and there's different ways of looking at this. So this is why I'm asking the questions. All the questions won't apply to you. It depends. Are you business to business? Are you going to the customer? Is it product? Is it service? But what can they expect when they're working from you, with you? So Eric, this is a good one from you. Like, what can they expect? How are you different? Where are they when you meet them? And where do you take them? I always love using that when I write about me pages for people. Like, when I meet my clients, they're feeling blah, 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 and then when they leave, or when I'm not when I'm done with them, but you know what I mean, then they feel X. So it's that journey that you're taking them through. Think about how you're different from your competitors too. This is another great thing. And as always, I have examples. So here's an example. I teach my clients how to go from blank to blank, right? So if we're a numbers person, like maybe I take my person from not even understanding how a budget works to, where are they over here? I show each and every one of my clients how to go from A to B. That's very similar. I help somebody to somebody buy something. Too many blanks there, sorry. But that is more like an elevator pitch where it's like, I help women entrepreneurs and small businesses to accelerate their business growth by helping them have kick-ass websites, let's just say, or something like that. So if you have a very simple elevator pitch, this is also potentially a place that this could work. Okay, so see how it's a little bit different from street cred. Street cred, you're quantifying what you do really well. Now we're turning things around and we're bringing the customer into it, and we're talking about how we're going to help the customer. And again, we're not going on for 4 paragraphs, 4 different types of clients, 4 different types of situations. We're talking about, the best example to illustrate how we're going to help these people, or how they're going to feel or be changed by buying our products. Okay, feel free to use any of these examples or templates. That's what they're there for. So here's a few examples. I teach my clients how to organize their life so they can have more time with their family and be more present day to day. Okay. A great source of information for this piece is if you get testimonials, or you get emails, or you get messages from people saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You did this for me. Obviously they value that. And so testimonials and feedback or surveys, that's a great place to look for these nuggets. If you're on client phone calls with people or discovery calls, and I know, like, when I talk to people, like, oh, like, I hate tech, like I don't even want to know about the tech, or oh, this jargon or email marketing, there's so much to do. If you have discovery calls or client meetings or product focus groups, these are all places where you got to listen to what those clients are saying, because I'm not going to say use their own words against them, but use their own words to help you better explain what it is that you do, because clearly that is what they are struggling with, what they're trying to communicate to you. Okay. I show my customers how to balance their business finances so they can say goodbye to stress and hello to more income. I help parents serve delicious birthday cakes at their child's birthday parties with no fear of allergic reactions, right? So if I'm a parent and I have a kid who's allergic to nuts, I'm going, oh my gosh, that's so what I want. Like, I just want to be able to serve a cake that tastes good, that I don't have to worry about like having 5 EpiPens close by. So I hope those examples help. Think about a journey, think about how their life will be changed, anything like that. For the accounting example, it could be sleeping at night, making sure you're maximizing your tax returns, no surprises, taking the stress away, reducing time so you can get back to your work, all things like that. Does anybody have any questions about the what's in it for them section? And again, I'll take questions at the end as well. Okay, on your days off, number 5. So we're more than halfway there, and this one's super easy. I dedicate 1 paragraph, a sentence or 2 to mention a couple more personal things about yourself. And I feel like maybe some of you are starting to squirm. You don't want to be the person that shares their dinner plate on Instagram every single day or get too personal. We're not talking about getting too mushy gushy here or going so deep. Somebody's going to be like so weirded out that you've shared so much about yourself. Just a few little tidbits to make you a real life, relatable human being. Okay, so it could be a little known fact. It could be what you do on the weekends. It could be a hobby, your pet's name, your favorite food. Okay, you get to choose what you share. So make sure that you're comfortable with it. And I also want you to think about your ideal client. Think about the people that you work with and that you serve or that you sell to. Okay. We're not faking it and saying something to relate to them that isn't true. But like I say here, if my ideal client is a vegan, I'm not going to be sharing that I love rare steaks and hunting on the weekend, right? So we want to think about who our ideal client is and forget the things that maybe that are opposite, but what are the things that, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze here. What are the things that we have in common with our ideal client? And then we can mention that so that the people are thinking, yeah, I like yoga too. You know, this person, and it seems so silly, but it builds the trust and it makes the connection and it humanizes you. If you know your ideal client is allergic to nuts, I mean, don't talk about your love for peanut butter, right? It's just basic. But if you know a lot of them, like I said, do yoga or they value the outdoors and you do too, then by all means say something about that. We're not faking, we're just bridging a similarity that we might have with them. So on your piece of paper beside number 7, I want you to just quickly jot down something that okay, this is what we're going to do. The show that you've loved, that you've watched this year, that you keep telling people about, a book that you've read this year that you absolutely love. Who do you hang out with on the weekends? Do you have a pet? I want you to drop a couple of these in the chat section for me. Do we have a dog? Are we cat lovers? Is there something that you love to do? You hang out in Aurora or movies? Don't make this harder than it needs to be. I should be lighting up here. Yes, I love volunteering in my community. Okay, we love traveling. Amazing. I want a couple more, please. I know you guys like doing stuff. Hiking, Allison. Awesome. Great one. Love trying new restaurants and exploring the outdoors. Emily, great job. And I have my pet pics on my About page. Robin, good job. Baking, awesome. I love doing home reno projects and gardening by my pool. See, already I feel like we could hang out this weekend together and go hiking and do reno projects. And did anybody say eat chocolate? Oh, baking, Samantha did. So do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's those little things that help you connect with people, okay? And for people like, say, Samantha, who likes baking, I'd even go one step further and say, I love baking and my favorite such and such is, or Eric, I love doing home reno projects, you know, and next one up is, or I'm not sure that my wife agrees, or whatever. Like, take what you love and then add maybe one more little kind of fun comment that you would say that's conversational. So here's a few examples. To unwind and chillax on my off days, maybe you're not going to use the word chillax, but I recharge by ... doing home rental projects. A little known fact about me, I absolutely love volunteering in my community, and the last project was such and such, you know? On the weekends, you can find me hanging out with my husband, my 3 kids, playing sports, walking the dog. You don't have to do all those. You can just pick one. Or binge watching such and such on Netflix, okay? Do be truthful, do be authentic, but choose something that your ideal client might like too, okay? Any questions about number 7 and what we like doing on the weekends? It's an easy one. Like I said, 1 sentence, maybe 2. Don't make it harder than it is. Just pop her down. Oh, where is that? Huh, where did I have that? We're gonna find a slide somewhere in the wrong spot later on, because I wrote For me, a few things that I use, and again, once you have a few, you can sort of like pop them into Instagram, pop them into your LinkedIn. Like again, it just makes you more relatable. So I love Whitney Houston. So I put that in so many places. If you want to book a call with me, you have to say if you prefer Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston. And again, it's just a little fun thing I do, and people get to know me for, right? I love chocolate. I love brie cheese. I've got kids that play hockey. I've got a dog. You know, these are all things that I sort of bring into things. And for some weird reason, I like painting, shoveling snow, and I love swimming in the lake. I don't use all of those, but those are little things that I've used throughout the years in my about pages and bios and things like that. So once you have a few, another hilarious one is if you used to play an instrument in middle school, that's also like a fun one to put in, like, did you know, or little known fact. Lynn says, I've decorated and staged dozens of homes across the GTA. That's great for your quantification. I love that. Okay, so we are closing things off. This is our last written portion and section, and it's our closing line or call to action. The end is in sight. So here we go. Tell them what you want them to do next. I cannot stress this enough. Every place on your website, end of a page, end of a paragraph, a button, you got to think, what have I just told them and what do I want them to do next? What is the best way to reach you? If they love this yoga, hunter, home reno, baker, how do they get a hold of this person? Sounds like a Bumble ad or something. Anyway, think of the first step in your client journey or something that your customer usually wants help with right off the bat or commonly asked questions. Okay, do you want them to call you, email you, buy a product, visit you, any of those things? Tell them and give them the detail so that they can do that. Do not make them have to go to another page to get a hold of you. We want it right there in the last paragraph. So if you would like more information about, please contact me we're going to provide an email or a phone number or both to check out our don't say, go to my contact page. You got to give them the information right there. Drives me nuts. I called somebody today. I will not mention the Newmarket business, but I called one person, they put me through to another person, and then that person said I needed to call back the other person, and I was about to lose my mind. To check out our most recent products and discover which one would look great on you, please visit, and then you can insert the page you want them to send so they can go right there. If you need X, I've got you covered. Please reach me at jot down what step you want your readers to take and what the best way to reach you is. So in the chat section, let me know, are you going to provide your email, your phone number? Are you going to link them to your favorite products page? Are you going to give them a map to your brick and mortar location? Drop it in the chat so I know you're thinking about this and you're not going to leave that call to action off for me. Come on, what's it going to be? Favorite products page. Okay, Linda, good job. A cell number, Eric. Okay, good. If you use that all the time and you're comfortable, awesome. Do you change it up once in a while, Robin? I'm assuming you're talking about the about me page. Yeah, sure I do. Absolutely. I mean, like anything, our website, I usually recommend you'll want to sort of review your website at least once, if not twice a year, sort of like mark those times. And there will be things that ring true still. Your name's still going to be the same. But you know what? Maybe now you're more established and you can up those numbers, right? Or maybe you've changed your services and you want to sort of slightly tweak that. I take you from here to here, right? So absolutely, I would suggest anytime you're reviewing your website once, twice a year, make sure that your About Me page still reflects you, right? If you don't like chocolate anymore, put down that you've switched to Prosecco, right? So it's all good. I just want my email address as well. People can call or text. Okay, good. It's very immediate. Yeah, I do agree, Eric, especially if I remember right. Sounds like you're in real estate. I don't want to wait 4 days for you to get back to me, right? If you are service based and it's something that is a little bit more, hey, we're not doing anything today about that, then an email might be more appropriate. I don't have my cell phone on my business. It's something I've been debating, but I'm a solopreneur. I don't want people coming to my home, but I give them 2 or 3 ways on how they can reach out to me. Hopefully, I'm not ticking anybody off too much. But nothing is like so immediate on that. If you're a paint store, you definitely don't want to email me back for the hours of operation, right? So now we're on to number 7, sign off and picture. So this isn't anything that you have to write, but it's still going to make you a little uncomfortable probably, because I want a picture of you on your About Me page. Okay. So when you sign off, you're just going to say, talk to you soon, hope to hear from you soon, like all this stuff. And I want you again to think about, what do you say? Like when you leave the office, do you always say ciao for now? Like, or do you say later? Or do you say see y'all tomorrow? Or, write down what you would typically say. This is not where we say regards, Tracy. That doesn't, you're not going to say that to somebody. Regards, see you tomorrow. No, we're not saying that in a conversation. So I want you to pick a word that you would use to close off your conversation on the phone or whatever. Thank you for the LOL. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. So you want to include your name, your sign off, and first name only. I don't know how formal you are. I put Tracy, and I actually put it in like a written font. So it has the feel that, maybe I wrote my name in there. And perhaps include your title and credentials if that's applicable too. And I want you to include a picture of you. You have to include a picture of you. No ifs, no buts. If you don't include a picture, your visitor is interacting with words and fonts. With a picture, they can envision having a conversation with you. They can recognize you when they show up at your business. Okay, and it just feels a lot more like a conversation. Okay, and if you were in my session last week, if you need a good photographer, Jim Craigmile, there's his phone and email, or his phone and website. He's amazing. Tell him Tracy sent you. I've worked with him for 10 years and over 40 photo shoots, and he's amazing, and he takes all kinds of photos. He would love to hear from you, and he's located in Bradford, super close, super reasonable, so no excuses on the photos. So examples of the sign off and picture. There's a picture of me. That's who you're talking to. Tracy, founder, Kitchen Table CEOs. Just simple. Okay, it does not have to be complicated. Just your name, your title, and maybe your business. Okay. So, quick overview. I know we've gone over a lot, but I think you're in a really good spot. And based on the engagement, I think you're doing amazing. First, your greeting. Second, your historical anecdote, what brought you to this spot in time. Third, street cred, why are you good at what you do? 4, what's in it for them? Where are you taking them from A to B? On your days off, share a teeny bit about your personal, your closing line and call to action, call me or get me at such and such. And then we're going to just our name and a picture. And I'm going to show you real quick what that looks like. So this is like not set up landscape like I needed for a picture, but this is just putting all of sort of the examples together. I didn't spend too much time on it. Hey there, I'm Tracy. I'm a professional copywriter, marketing strategist, and founder of Kitchen Table CEOs. I've loved writing in all forms ever since I was little, and whether I knew it or not back then, I've come to realize I'm really good at it. My work has graced the pages of more than 50 publications, been read by millions worldwide, and most importantly, helps a lot of women CEOs achieve their goals and follow their dreams to build a business of their own. I help my clients go from overwhelmed and not knowing where to start to feeling like a weight has been lifted off their shoulders, knowing they have a professional by their side to help them market their business the right way. Again, not too much detail, right? I'm not going on and on and on. On my off days, you can find me cheering on my kids at the hockey rink, walking my dog, or binge watching Younger on Prime. Must watch, ladies. If you want to accelerate your business growth and marketing efforts and just don't know where to start, please book a complimentary call with me here, and then I link it to my calendar. I can't wait for us to connect. Tracy, founder, Kitchen Table CEOs. Uh, you can hire me, Eric. Go for it. He says, wow, I'd hire you. Anyway, so that is it, just all summed up. But you can see no paragraph is 5 lines, right? I couldn't fit my picture, but my picture would be on there too. So that is an example of what it looks like. Okay. Short, sweet, but really strategic. So last minute tips. Like I said, does not have to be super long. Just do its job and talk like you're a superstar and they want to contact you. Don't forget your call to action, whatever you do. And don't use a selfie or a vacation picture, okay? I was looking last night on LinkedIn, and again, I keep seeing those pictures. Somebody's wearing a strapless dress, all you can see is skin, not appropriate, okay? We don't want vacation pictures or selfie pics. No arm should be in it, okay? You can get a tripod, a colleague, somebody to take that picture, stand in front of a window, natural light on you, you got this, or call Jim, right? It's the most visited interior page on your website, so we gotta have this page. Each section, sentence or two, not over long, okay? Write like how you talk. Okay, read it out loud to yourself. If you're boring yourself, you need to change it up a little bit, right? And bonus, if your business personality suits this, off to the side, you could include something like little known facts about you. You know, again, what instrument did you play? What's your favorite food? What famous person would you really like to meet? What are you watching or listening to? Your favorite podcast. If you go to my website, kitchentablesceos.com/about. You can check out my website. It's not very traditional, so there's all sort of the pieces all over it. So it could give you a few ideas of how to have a little bit of fun. But most importantly from today, I don't want you to stress, okay, with anything. When you learn something new and you have a lot to take in like we did with this hour, it can be really, really overwhelming. I don't want you to feel stressed at all. That's why I'm here. So there's no pressure, but I'm just saying there's 2 ways I can help you if you are feeling stressed and like there's no way you can handle this sort of thing. So 2 services I do offer that are very bite-sized. I can write your About Me page for you, easy peasy, or I can also do a personalized website report for you where I go through your website and I look at all these different categories and give you sort of a report and a list and a video of areas where you can kind of enhance and tweak and really kind of capitalize on opportunities to get your people where you want them to be. So that was a lot, and I hope that you got your 1 through 7 sort of written on that piece of paper, but I'd love to have any questions, clarifications, if anybody wants to pop a sentence in and have me sort of work through it with them. Absolutely. Divya or Rupa, thank you so much for coming. No problem. It was my pleasure to be here today. Like I said, the About Me page, if it stresses you out, you're not alone. I always ask, hey, what page don't you like? Or what do you need help with on your copywriting? Or what's stressing you out? And people always, always say the About Me page. So you are in good company. I would really love for you to keep in touch though. I'm going to send you an email after this presentation with links to a few things I referenced. If you're looking for any sort of writing templates, your About Me page, your elevator pitch, learning more about your ideal client, email sequence, that is all on my website in the template shop, kitchentablesceos.com. And if you use the code CHAMBER25, that's good for 25% off everything there. Next week, next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about email marketing on our website and how to get that set up. We're going to be talking about all the jargon terms like lead magnets and funneling and campaigns and email platforms. So if you have an email list and you want to be using it more wisely and more strategically, or if you don't have an email list, but you want to know what the deal is with this email marketing and how it could work for your business, or if you want to know how email marketing should integrate with your website, what tools and tips and tricks you need to be putting on your website to get people's emails, or how to use that, next Tuesday at noon. Tell all your friends and bring them, and we'll talk email marketing. Caroline, you're more than welcome. Lisa, Heidi, Robin, Christian, Samantha, Thank you so much for coming, everybody. But honestly, if anybody has any questions, Robin says she'll be reassessing her page. Okay, good. And make sure you get those pictures on there. I'm serious. One tip with I love to hike and garden on the weekends. I love traveling too. Lynn, nice. Me too. I went to an amazing hike actually last week at Pine Farms. I didn't know that they were open in the winter, and I went hiking there, and then you could go in their shop afterwards and get the baked goods from my baker, and a hot tea, and they had Muskoka chairs by a fire with like fur on them. It was so nice, the apple orchard there. So for all my hikers that mentioned, you can go there. Eric, you're more than welcome. If anybody needs any help, just like hourly basis or copywriting or any sort of things, they just don't know where to turn, I'm also happy to have a chat with you. We can hop on a call. There's basically nothing that I don't write for my clients. So if anybody needs just help because there's a million things on your to-do list, and although you could write them, you don't want to spend the time or take the time away from your business, I got you. So I've got my cell there, my email, and my website. So anybody, feel free to email me afterwards if you want to email me a section or a paragraph that you want me to give you some comments. That's great. But that is our hour. I hope everybody has an awesome week, and I really hope you can help spread the word about next Tuesday. Yeah, but I'll stay in here for a couple more minutes if anyone has any questions. But
thank you so much, Tracy. Wow, that was like a fabulous, like packed hour of information. Really great. Thank you so much. And as Tracy mentioned, I will be sending out the presentation, the slides, as well as the recorded session. So anybody could refer back. And yeah, we've got email marketing up next week. So sign up for that on the Chamber website. Really looking forward to it. Tracy, yep.
I was just going to say two things. I'm going to send an email out too. If anybody, I'd love to know, that's the first time I've sort of run through that presentation. So I'd love to know if there were any parts that were like too fast or overwhelming, or if it was a really great sort of chunk down version of how to approach it. Any feedback I'd appreciate. And then the other thing Sandra and I were wondering was, we were debating just having sort of an hour drop-in about websites, but we wanted to gauge interest level. Like it would be more like a bring your question, and all of us sort of have discussions around, you know, anything anybody's struggling with on their website. Again, not like coding. I know some stuff, but I'm not your like JavaScript person. But if people have questions about, you know, their copywriting, their navigation, their images, their branding, you know, who would be interested in having sort of a drop-in session like that. So if you want to maybe drop a thumbs up in the chat, if you were up for a drop-in website focused session, then that would help us gauge interest for March, probably some point, not on a Tuesday, but different.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Well, I guess that's our time together today. If nobody else has any further questions of Tracy, we will wrap it up, and have a great rest of the week, everybody. And hopefully we will see you all next Tuesday. Same time.
Awesome. See everyone.
Thanks again, Tracy.
Stay warm.
Okay. Take care, everybody.